Hello and welcome back. Brett here with clickmail.co. In this video, we are going to be previewing our tag. Now, one of the things that I'll say up here in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, you're going to see a couple things. This is important. Number one, you see submit. This is how you publish the changes in real life. We don't want to do that right off the top. Neil, correct me if I'm wrong. We don't want to do that right off the top because we want to make sure what we're doing is working and it's not going to destroy something in the code of your website or it's going to mess up other tags. And so we don't want to submit it. We want to preview it first. And you can see here the number of unpublished workspace changes that we want to preview and see if they work. All that on the up and up, Neil? Neil's on mute again.
Okay, all right, that's painful. All right. That's correct, but we can preview right now because the tag is not on the website just yet.
Great.
Oh wait, we did that with the plugin, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Well, there's nothing to worry about.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
we
when
can we
we
can preview it.
Yep. Okay, cool. So when we preview, we are going to paste the client site or your business site in here. And so I'm going to go back and pull that domain. So right here, I'm going to copy and paste that. And so this is the preview window. Now you'll see down here, include debug signal in the URL. We need to make sure that is selected. That is
Yep.
going to say debug, but that means it's going to let us see real live information that we can use to debug the system if and when, and it almost always has a bug. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and we're going to click connect. We should see as it's connecting, there's the website. Cool. I'm going to minimize. Okay, let me see here. We're a little different than last time I saw it.
No, the reason why it opened up a separate page is because we don't have the tag assistant extension, but
I do have the
it
tag
doesn't
assistant
prevent
extension.
right now.
Yeah,
Is it enabled?
no, let me
Check.
enable. Okay, so this is important. Tag legacy will run through this tag assistant on. There we go. Okay, so this is important. If you're running these, you're going to want to go to Google and download the Tag Assistant Companion. I'm assuming you're using Google Chrome, but you want this enabled in your browser so that your browser can track the data and report it to you in Google Tag Manager. So there we go. First real-time issue. Let's go ahead and retry. And that is now on. You can see here that I've got that tag assistant. It's on. We're going to connect, and it is going to be communicating between these pages for us. It looks like it might
Yeah,
still not be working.
yeah, you can close that down and try again.
Okay, so we're just going to go back and just
Yeah.
retry. Ooh, where am I? I don't know what that is. I don't know why that's there. There we go. Test tag. Okay, we're going to preview again. And this is the real process. If you're watching this, this is legitimately how you do it. So we're just going to put that in again. There we go. Okay, so that tag assistant's working. Now I'm on the home page and we're going to go back and I'm going to say continue. And now what you'll notice here, Neil, we should have a page load, right? No, we
Yeah,
shouldn't,
but
but we don't because we didn't
yeah.
make a tag for that. Okay, so we shouldn't have a
Mhm.
page load. What we should, oh, did I ruin it? Yeah, I think I messed it up again. Hold on. We're going to do it this way. We're going to try it again. I have to click the button. I was looking to see if the page loaded properly. Okay, there we go. We're going back in. We're doing another test. We're going to let it open. Now we're going to click the button and we're going to see if the only tag we have, we don't have a page load tag, we have a button click tag. We're going to see if that fires off properly. So we click the button. Neil, we come back over, right? Do I
Yep.
continue?
Yep.
Okay, I thought so. Yep, there we go. Now we have a couple things happening here. We have, those are Calendly. That's weird. There we go. Oh, Omni automation. Okay. Okay, so this is actually making a little bit of sense. So at the bottom of the page, we do have a Calendly calendar, and this is tracking that the calendar loaded. So I'm not going to get super in depth with that. But coming down to the bottom, Neil, what is container loaded? So there's the container load. So that's correct. Is that right, Neil? Google Tag Manager.
Yeah, yeah, we're looking at the
I'm looking at the analytics.
TA4, yeah. So for some reason, our container is not firing at the website. So it
Okay.
should. I mean, if we are using the plugin correctly, it's saved, it's published,
Yeah.
and the changes on the website went live, so the TTM code should actually be firing.
Let's
Now, by the looks of it, it's
Yeah,
not really.
there's a set. I thought for sure there's a setting in here we got to fix. We can go back in and test it again. Google Tag Manager. Is that it?
Yeah, it should. I mean,
Okay. So container code is off. That would be why. Okay. It was on
yeah,
when I checked it, and now it's off. Okay, let's try it again. We're gonna go back over. I thought for
close it.
sure that was something that was gonna happen. Let's go back over here. We're gonna retest. Let me close some of these. This is a little crazy. All right, there we go. Clean that up a little bit. Okay, we're gonna preview again.
Yep.
Awesome. Paste that back in. Now we've got two problems solved. And we're going to be loading the page, and we're going to go ahead. Now it's working. There we go. This is what I was looking for. I was confused when it didn't show up. Tag Assistant is connected. So you see the Tag Assistant up here that we have, turned enabled into Chrome is now connected with the website. Now, I'll tell you something that just confused me so much when I was learning this is it doesn't matter what color the thing is. Sometimes it'll be green, sometimes it'll be blue, sometimes it'll be red, sometimes it'll be yellow. And as long as it says the page is viewable in Tag Assistant window, you're fine. It would be
Yeah.
red, and I would be like, what is happening? And so just be aware of that. As long as it says it's connected, you're fine. And we're connected. And here we go. Now we have Google Tag Manager, and now we have data. So that one
Yeah.
setting in the website was the issue. Now we can see that the window loaded. So we have data layer push, event, Google Tag Manager load. So this is our container that loaded, correct, Neil?
Yep.
Okay. And then we have the data layer is pushed. So we can see the data layer push has gone out. I'm just showing you what we're looking at in here. None of this is particularly important except that it's working. We're coming. We do have some events in here, consent. Yep, so it's all just loading. And then it says, you'll notice here, tags not fired is the test tag. Now, I haven't clicked on the button yet. So we do see that we're getting the information we want. Now we're going to go back over to that page and we're going to click that button. Okay, so we click the button. Now we're going to come back to our debug page and we're going to come down and we see click. So you'll notice one is the first one and then the second thing happened and we're going up to click and it says tags not fired tag. So it did not track the click. Neil, am I correct in that?
Yep.
Okay, so Neil, what do you want to look at here? Do we want to look at the data layer? What do we want to look at to identify why this did not track properly?
Yeah. I'll go to tags and just click it.
Okay, click the tag.
Uh-huh.
Here we go.
All right. So as you can see, the firing triggers are basically our sort of conditions. So those conditions should actually match when we
So this does not match.
yeah. So get my free marketing strategy contains get my free. So
It
there
needs
is
to be
something wrong
caps.
with this. All right. So those filters. So we can easily fix this, but for some reason, well, what am I saying? There are two conditions that we haven't really met. One is the marketing strategy. For some reason, this has to be like uh, a separate variable. So we're gonna create like a custom variable
Okay.
for this one, get my free marketing strategy, but it's gonna be a little bit complicated.
Okay.
But
Maybe
we're not really sure. Yeah,
maybe we'll switch it up, and what we'll do is maybe we'll just do like a page load tag because that's also really common, like a thank you page, and then we'll just show
yeah,
that when the page loads, the tag fires. How about we do that?
yeah. And for the slash, this means the host name. So um the host name should just be omniautomation.ai. So it should
Without the
actually work.
backslash. Okay.
Yeah, but not the back. I mean, the backslash means host name. So We just
Okay.
need the host name itself.
Got it. Okay. So then here's what we're going to do. Real time. We're going to go back. Let's just do. So a lot of times if you're running an advertising campaign, for example, they click the ad and they go to what is called a landing page, which is where you try to sell a service. You're just going to track that page load because you know that someone clicked on your ad and loaded the page, and so that's something we can definitely do. A page load's a very common way to track a conversion. So, or excuse me, a thank you page. What am I saying? They land on the landing page and then they click your button, they sign up on the form, and then they're redirected to the thank you page and you track the page load on the thank you page and you know someone signed up because that's the only person that's going to be on the thank you page. So what we're going to do is we are going to configure, and that's just page URL, right, Neil?
Yeah.
Okay. Anything else we need to configure? And you guys will remember this is the
Yeah,
variable.
can you go back to the debug because we might need
Ah,
additional information. Yeah.
oh,
Go
over
back to
here.
the
Yes.
debug, zoom out. All right, X, and then click on the variables.
Okay. So again, these are the variables. These are the conditions we can set.
Very good. All right, so click text.
I can already see it's caps, but it's so weird because in the code it wasn't capsed. But I know in the
Yeah,
button it's caps, so that was unusual. But okay, so it's
yeah.
capped.
So we can use click text, all caps. All right.
Click text.
The host name. Yeah, click text. We should use the caps with
Yes.
the yeah. All right. So host name, omniautomation.ai, and yeah, just yeah, that's about it.
Okay. So let's go back. So are we editing the one we have or are we making a new one? What do you want to do?
Yeah, we're editing the one that we have. I
Okay.
mean, to
Just two
save.
edits.
Yeah.
Okay. So variable, so we don't need to change variables, correct? We just need to specify them better in the trigger.
Yep.
Okay. So variables stay the same. We're going to go to our test trigger and we're going to come in here to trigger configuration. And we're going to
Yep.
put this in all caps. And actually, if I was really, really smart, I would just copy that, but it looks like I've exited the window. So I could just copy it exactly. And that's going to save a lot of time with just all the spelling errors that are going to happen. Get my free, what is it, Zach? Is it strategy call? Strategy free?
Um,
Let me see.
is that yeah, sorry.
No, that's okay. Marketing strategy. Get my free marketing strategy. Get my free marketing strategy. Exclamation point. Okay. And then we're taking the backslash off. Is that correct, Neil?
Yep.
Okay. And then we're going to save.
No, and the HTTP
We're taking
value.
this off.
Yeah, yeah, we're okay, yeah.
Okay. Right there.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Now we're going to re-preview.
Yes, just close down the existing pages and re-preview.
Perfect. Yeah, I think I already did. We'll reclose that one. Okay. So that everybody knows what happened there. When we tried to gather the information and we clicked the button, the tag did not fire because I told you when we set up this trigger that this was case sensitive. So very unusually, it looked lowercase and it came in uppercase because it is uppercase in the button. But we had to then make sure instead of lowercase, it's uppercase because it won't trigger unless it's exactly correct because these conditions are very specific. And then secondly, the code that fires on the website does not have the HTTPS or the backslash, so we took that off. And now when we retest it, hopefully the code, the trigger should trigger properly, which will trigger the tag. All that right, Neil?
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead. We're going to re-preview. You're going to be doing a lot of previewing in Tag Manager. Do I leave this the same? I don't need to change that, right?
Yep.
Yep. Okay. And then we are going to reload the page. We're looking to see that yep. Okay. So with the debug, you notice now it's a triangle and it's blue. It doesn't matter as long as it says it's viewable. So we're fine. And we already know the page load. So I'm just going to go ahead and click the button and we're going to move over connected, click, and tags not fired, still not fired. So we can see all of the other things are happening properly, still number 7. So nothing's changed there. Let's go back over to variables. Neil, what do we see?
Yeah, go back to tags and click
Tags.
on the
Click on the tag.
yeah, the actual tag, test tag.
So this time, this worked though, right?
But yeah, so the all that the hostname is the problem. So let's go back to the variables tab and see what is required for the hostname.
Okay. So we're going to go back over to variables. So we're going to exit this.
No, no, no.
Nope.
Sorry, the variables tab.
Right
It's
here.
right beside.
Sorry. Here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Our host name is Omni Automation AI. Can you
That
check
right
the
there.
spelling if that is correct?
I probably spelled it wrong. And this is why I said, don't do it by hand.
Yeah.
uh,
So
Omni.
yeah, just
Weird. Okay. Let's double check spelling. We'll click on it.
okay. So it's not okay. So the reason why it's not firing is because we have selected page path. So it should be page host name,
Host name or URL? Page URL.
host name, because
Host name.
that's the indicated value.
Okay. So it's not a path to get to the page. It is the page, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Would that also work with
Actu-
page URL?
No,
Okay.
because it the definition is actually said it's actually telling us it's page host name explicitly. So we need to
Okay.
follow that.
Okay. I will take your word on that one. Let's keep going. So we're going to change that. And I'm going to go ahead and just paste in exactly the other one to make sure we don't have a spelling error. And we're going to go ahead and preview again.
Yep. If this doesn't work,
This
well,
should,
yeah.
I'm feeling confident. This one's got to work. Okay. Did this
All
just
right.
reload? Yep. We're set. So we're
Yeah,
viewable.
so
Uh-huh.
yeah, I just wanted to add about the colors of the tag assistant. If it's green, it's perfect. If it's blue, minor issues. If
Hmm.
it's yellow, um, it's telling us that there are things that we need to improve and it may lead us to inconsistencies. So
Okay.
the color should be either blue
Oh,
or green.
wow.
If it's
Okay. You're
red,
teaching me something
then
new. But
yeah,
it can work when it's red or yellow though, right?
red, it's a pass. It's not really gonna work.
Okay.
Yellow, it might work, but it's not gonna be accurate.
Wow.
It's
Okay.
telling us that it's not gonna it's either gonna proceed or it's not.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And so that you guys know, this is why I have Neil here. This is his area of expertise. His whole career and expertise is in Google Ads and Tag Manager because this is a very specific and technical field. So thank you, Neil. And I learn from Neil all the time. I've been doing Tag Manager for a few years, but still, this is a challenging program, and that's why I have him here to back me up and make sure we're getting you the very best information. So thank you, Neil. So it is working. I assume the fact that maybe even the analytics account isn't on this website might be affecting that in some way. I don't know if that's correct, but I know that's a
Yeah,
good. Sorry.
yeah, it can, but
Okay.
it says blue, so minor implementation issues.
Cool.
It's saying blue because well, there's a green because we have like an iframe for Calendly,
Okay.
but the other one's telling us it's blue because we use a plugin, and the
Yes.
plugin is considered customizations.
Got
Yeah,
it. Okay. Great. Perfect. Okay. So I did click the button. So let's go back over and let's see how we did. And you'll see
yeah,
here, tag fired. Okay. So when we click on
it's
this, we're going to come in here and we'll see that the trigger here, this then is all the correct information.
yep,
Correct, Neil? Okay.
that's
And
right.
then if we come over to variables, oh, I'm not,
You have to click the items. Yep.
there we go. There we go. So we'll see here that the variables then are obviously matching exactly. Anything we need to point out here, Neil, just to further explain why this is working properly now?
Yeah, we have selected the correct variable and we enter the correct value. If we go to the tags tab, it should all be green. We should see green
There we
there.
go. That's what I was looking for. Okay.
Yep,
So, yep, get my free marketing strategy matches exactly. So that's going to be one of those two variables to trigger it. Omni Automation AI contains exactly on. That's what Neil was doing when we were in here. He's looking, he's saying, what does it contain on the page and what is it on the trigger that we're, or the, not the trigger, the variable. What is the variable? And if they're mismatched, we need to go back and fix it. So this is how we're just matching it up. It's a matching game. So all three of these things match here. And so then it's, of course, going to fire. Anything to add
yeah.
there, Neil?
Yeah, well, GTM, if we're, I mean, based on experience, it's basically trial and error.
Yeah.
That's the reason why we have the preview function there,
Mhm.
so that you can test it first before you finalize everything.
That's great. Yes. And this is so important. You have to do this iterative process where you're finding the bugs and working them out before you publish it to your site. Because I don't know what percentage you would say, Neil, but when I do it, I'd say 85% of the time, 90% of the time, there's going to be a bug in your tag and you got to fix it. If you just publish these to your site untested, nothing's going to work. Would you say that's accurate?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
of course. I mean,
Okay.
human errors are unavoidable.
Yeah.
So I'm still guessing like 95% is not really gonna work.
Yeah.
So that's
95.
fine.
Okay, cool.
I mean, don't be too hard on yourself if it doesn't work the
Yeah.
first time, and if people are expecting you to have a 100% working tracking.
Yeah. Don't work for them.
Yeah, they're not really.
That's right. And one of the things, so if you're watching this, one of the things that Neil and I were discussing is, well, should we set it up in advance and make sure it works? And we came to the idea is like, no, because it's not realistic. And I think a lot of the, tag manager trainings out there, the ones I did, it's like, here's what happens. And then it works every time. And I'm like, but it doesn't work. What do you do when it doesn't work and it's not there? And I was like, no, we need to just let it flow naturally because in all likelihood, it's not going to work. And then we actually do that testing, discovery, kind of matching process here, and then we get it working. So you can see it took us 3 or 4 tries. We had to find some different settings. The data told us what to do, and then we find it. And this is really what it is. I mean, it's not a clean process. So that's the tag. We see the tag fired. Awesome. Now I do want to let you know here, where does the tag fire? It fires on the click. If you go somewhere else, like the page loads here, the window loads, tag not fired. So don't get confused there. We're clicking a button. It has to fire on the click, and that's where we need to look. And I initially missed that when I came in here. I was like, oh, it didn't work. Oh, wait, I've got to go and click. So that's one thing to be aware of when you're looking at this. Now, Neil, the other thing I want to show them in this video while we're looking at the uh, preview tab here, we looked at variables. This is what is coming from the site and what these are the variables that we're trying to track. But over here is the data layer. This is the actual code that is coming from the website that Tag Manager is parsing through. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. So in this case, um, we don't have like a very specific data layer that we have created. This is actually created by the website itself. So we can create our own data layer, but this is what it looks like when, I mean, generally when we visit the debug screen,
Right.
and this is what we're gonna be presented with. So as you look at the items there, very complex codes. We can use some of those, but we tend to step away
Oh,
from this type of data layer in the meantime, because it might confuse us in the future. So for now,
yes, it does.
yeah, we just need to use the information, by the way, that we actually got from this debug script is the element class. If you look at the elementary button text,
Right here.
that's
Oh, element class. Yeah, that's what we took. And you'll remember, so I want to put this together, Neil, so that, if you're watching this, you can kind of see the flow of the data. So when we go back to that website, let's pull that up. Give me a second. Omniautomation.ai. When we come in here and we go back to developer tools and we look at that, what we decided to take, you'll notice class Elementor button text, and then there is the exact text. So we went in here, we gathered and we're tracking this specific class, and you'll see right here in that data layer push is the element class Elementor button text. Correct, Neil?
yes,
Okay, so you can see that is coming from the website code, and that is part of that data layer that is being pushed over to Google Tag Manager, as we discussed when we are doing definitions and all of that. And then, of
yes.
course, that's one of the things we're using to fire off the tag. So awesome. Anything else, Neil, that we need to know when publishing or excuse me, testing our first tag, previewing it.
Yeah, as what I've said earlier, it doesn't really have to be perfect. The
Yep,
first time you try it, if it doesn't work, we just continue to debug it. I mean, that's the reason why you're actually there. That's the reason why clients hire you, is because your capability to debug. So if it doesn't work, I mean, I'm not saying that you have to celebrate, but I mean, it's something that you can learn from, or it's something that you can actually use in the future,
absolutely.
if that makes sense. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Neil. So in the next video, we're going to go through the tag publishing process, and we're going to look at what that looks like. So we're going to publish the tag. And of course, now we're going to have to, in real life, we're not going to do this on our training, but we're going to have to go back and actually put in a real Google Tag Manager account. We're going to name them formally, but we're going to go ahead and publish this and show you what that looks like. So we'll see you in the next video. We'll see you there.